My name's Mark DeWitt, and I've known Dr. Courtney for some 5+ years. He's done 2 of my friends' surgeries, and then he did mine as well. Mine was a 4-level cervical fusion, C3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Surgery was perfect. Then probably an hour after the surgery, I had a clotting issue with my drain tube. Dr. Courtney was called, was back at the hospital within 10 minutes and had me back into emergency surgery where they had to correct the problem. He was thorough, he was precise. I mean, it went off without a hitch. They even kept me sedated for several hours afterward with excellent care. They had a nurse that was assigned to me that could not leave. And they couldn't even put an assistant in if that nurse had to go to the restroom. They had to bring another nurse in. Anyway, so they fixed it. It was perfect in my opinion. That was October of last year, so that would have been October of 16. They then prescribed physical therapy, which was for 90 days. Well, in the midst of doing all of that, I had a car accident where 2 kids weren't paying attention and they hit my car and flipped it. I slid upside down in the car on 35 right in front of the Anatol for over a football field length. Ended up 3 lanes to the right and facing the other direction. Obviously, I had some cuts and bruises, but thank the good Lord, nothing else. They took me to the emergency room, which I said they had to take me to Dr. Courtney, and they took me to Eminent Medical Center. They did the x-rays. There were no issues whatsoever. My neck held perfectly. That would only happen if the surgery were done to perfection, in my opinion. I mean, you can't have that much and just be hanging upside down for that long and being flipped over in a car if it was half-assed work. So anyway, all of that being said, I believe the physical therapy is paramount to my recovery. The equipment that Dr. Courtney uses that is his own, every single pre-surgery appointment that I had with him, not only himself, but the staff talked to me about his products, his product line. He makes his own stuff. He does this and that. But in meeting with Dr. Courtney, he told me about all of those things, actually showed me the material and said, this is what I prefer to use, but gave me the choice. So it was ultimately up to me as to whether or not I went with his product or the other. If you don't do the physical therapy, like my grandfather didn't do the physical therapy, he didn't have motion. He had rheumatoid arthritis, and he had that taken care of. He didn't do the squeezing of the tennis ball, the physical therapy stuff, and he couldn't even feed himself. So it is a big deal, and I'm grateful that they said I needed to do it. Now, speaking of them telling me the things that I needed to do post-surgery, during the surgery I briefly mentioned how attentive they were. When I had my car accident, Dr. Courtney wasn't even at his hospital. I called, they got a message to him. He was back to that hospital within 20 minutes to personally see to my neck, to check the x-rays, read them, and make sure that everything was exactly the way it was supposed to be. So he definitely went above and beyond. And speaking of going above and beyond, when I had my surgery and my 2 surgeries in the same day, he had me come back every other day to check that drain tube to make sure that everything was exactly the way it was supposed to be. So in my opinion, his care, even in a difficult situation that wasn't perfect to begin with, was impeccable. And things don't always go the way you expect them to go. But it's how you react to it, how you recover from it, and respond to it. So in my opinion, everything that he and the staff did was perfect. And in conclusion, Dr. Courtney, thank you very much for everything you've done, your attentiveness, your professionalism, the quality of work that you did for me, in my opinion, is second to none. I could not thank you any more. As you know, I'd never had any type of surgery or anything, and you made this as seamless as possible. Thank you, and yes, you have done several of my friends, and I'll continue to refer people to you because of the type of individual you are and the quality of work you do. Many thanks. God bless you.